You barking up the wrong tree, motherfucker.
That was one of the nuttiest fights, for as long as it lasted, that I can think of in recent memory. It was right up there with last year's Noche card, where Esteban Ribovics and Daniel Zahuber went to war. That was hard to say. I knew this would be enwreathed in flames and kick ass from beginning to end, but I did not expect it to completely outshine the most consequential boxing match of the last decade. I felt kind of bad for the UFC fighters having to compete with Canelo fucking Alvarez on such an important weekend for Mexican fans. But somehow the main event upended that script and made it certain that said boxing match would be boring as hell by comparison. The matchmakers absolutely cooked with this one. And even though it's not warranted whatsoever, this was pretty decisive, to say the least. I'd take the rematch in a heartbeat. Two power-punching powder kegs with a genuine rivalry built in. Obviously, Jean Silva likes to rile his opponents up, but Diego Lopes is always cool as a cucumber and very respectful. But even then, he did not care for Silva's shtick at all.
Não vai brigar, pô.
Não vai brigar não, mas cara, eu tô de boa, não tô nem falando com você, tô falando com o médico olhando pra mim.
Então entra aí, a gente quer amanhã, tá fazendo teus amigos esperar aí, para de ser babaca, mano.
Não, babaca aqui, rapaz, respeita. Respeita, irmão. Respeita.
Então entra na porra do carro e vai embora, mano.
Respeita, eu tô de boa na minha, fica todo mundo olhando pra mim, balançando a cabeça, por quê? Qual é o problema?
Teus amigos estão olhando.
Todos eles fizeram. Então, por que
Ué,
que tem...
eles fizeram, eles estão...
I don't think the bad blood between these two is over by any stretch, so provided they both cleave through contenders and let's say Lopes becomes champ eventually and Silva becomes the next rightful contender down the line, run this the fuck back. So to start off with, the first round was a damn near 10-8 for the majority for Lopes. There were a few exchanges on the feet before Silva tried a spinning back kick and Lopes promptly hopped on him like a python, took him down, and rained down some horrid ground and pound. Silva was trying his damnedest to defend and was desperately attempting to buck the mustache man off, but he just couldn't do it for the life of him. The damage was so bad that I could see the cogs turning in the ref's head to leap in, but thank God he didn't, because at the end of the round, Silva somehow manages to wriggle his way out and get back on his feet, where he was able to get a few shots off. So that saved it from being a 10-8 in my eyes, but still very clearly a dominant Lopes round. But the fact that Silva survived it all was insane. And not only did he survive it, but he turned it back around in the second and kind of started using Lopes like a heavy bag, landing gnarly hooks to the body and some truly murderous strikes to the dome. Lopes had his own moments and actually got Silva down at one point, but for the majority of this round, Silva was eating him up. And as good as Lopes is, man has the head movement of a box of rigatoni. This man is a goddamn obelisk. How in the tap dancing fuck he absorbed every one of those haymakers like it was nothing is beyond me. And him feeding Silva a taste of his own medicine by scraping a spinning back elbow over his head and then finishing him on the ground was icing on the cake. I'm a big fan of Jean Silva, but him attempting that very move several times throughout the fight and then having it done right back to him as he was wading in all greedy felt like some good karma. I guarantee he won't make that mistake again. So yeah, Diego Lopes continues to be the shit right now. And as I promised I would in my sauce ranking video a while back, Lopes has rightfully claimed his spot as the sauciest mullet mustache man at 145. What's crazy to me is how many people were writing off Lopes after his loss to Volk, acting like we'd found his ceiling and he wasn't quite as good or exciting as we thought he was on the come up. That was obviously a bunch of horse cock. I'm not saying everyone was saying that, but I was seeing it. And if anything, this fight just makes Volk's win age that much more. Because as is often the case when we see follow-up performances from losers of previous fights, you really gotta ask, just how good is Alexander Volkanovski? Like, we know he's great, we know he's one of the GOATs, but seriously, how fucking good is that guy? For him to come back after two back-to-back nasty knockout losses and not only break the over 35 curse, but do it against this beast of a man is incredibly impressive. Now, in saying all this and all this glazing, I'm gonna be a stinky little pump the brakes guy for a second. I've seen some saying that after basically one more win, he should get back in there for another title shot, and I'm kinda thinking a no on that one. I think we need to do away with #1 contenders getting infinite title shots off of one bounce back win or two. Featherweight is teeming with talent right now. It's thoroughly eclipsed bantamweight in terms of excitement in my eyes. So I'd say let's have him rack up a meaningful win streak first. And I'm not even saying he needs to get like 5 or something, but how about 2 more as opposed to 1? I think the fact that Evloev isn't next in line is ridiculous, frankly. He should be getting the title shot next. But let's be real, they're gonna give it to Murphy. They're gonna do that. For all he's done to deserve his stab at it, Evloev has won close decisions Some people think he's robbed a couple close decisions, whereas Murphy just knocked the dog shit out of Pico, so he's probably next. You got guys like Aljo and Yusuf Salal and Steve Garcia and David Onama creeping up, so let's see how things shake out in the division the next couple months. If Evloev isn't getting the shot next, I say run it back with him and Lopes. Or if you don't want to do that, say Evloev does get the shot, then do Lopes versus Yair, man. Why haven't we gotten that yet? That one also has a built-in rivalry. They could sell the fuck out of that. Now let's say Volk retires after his next defense. I wouldn't be upset about the idea of Diego getting another crack at it with just one more win, but I'm a big fan of fresh matchups. So if Volk is sticking around for a bit, let's have Lopes rack up a little bit more. But in saying that, I do think this guy will eventually be undisputed. Give it a couple years. He's just got it. He's got that thing. He's got that it factor. And as for John Silva, man, that fucking sucks. Because again, in reference to my Fighting Nerds video, they built up this brand of everyone on their team winning in spectacular fashion, which when they were all winning and climbing up, that was a great thing, because they could boost each other up as a team, but it backfired a bit because people went into this fight thinking the Fighting Nerds will have lost all their aura if Silva loses this weekend. And while I think that's kind of malarkey, I can't speak for everyone. If that's how the fan base feels, that's how they feel. And I'm sure Silva went into this fight with a lot more pressure than usual because all his boys have been getting beat lately, and he was supposed to go out there and get a dub for his gym. He probably took it pretty hard.
A responsabilidade é toda minha dessa derrota. Fomos três Fight Nerds que perdeu em seguida. Então os três devem estar cometendo erros parecidos. Então, com certeza vamos fazer uma reunião, eu, Caio, Ruf, e achar isso e melhorar. Quem gosta ou não, sinto muito, mas a gente vai voltar.
But Silva will absolutely be back and will absolutely manhandle most of the contenders at 145. If he was landing those shots on literally anyone else who doesn't possess the adamantium chin of Diego Lopes, he would have put them out cold 4 times over. I mean it. I have no idea how Lopes didn't explode in there. And when I say I want a rematch, I don't think that's wishful thinking. I think we will see these two lock horns again down the line, and take my fucking money when they do.
Don't fight, don't fight, we're not going to fight, man. No, you're not going to fight, but I'm cool. I'm not even talking to you. I'm talking to you, mind you. So get in there. We're going to make you and your friends wait there tomorrow. Stop being an asshole. No, what a disrespectful guy.